And thank you for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Now that Hurricane Irma has passed through Florida, residents and emergency workers there are assessing the damage. Destruction is widespread, and it may be days, even weeks, before power is restored to millions of residents. Gary Lane is on location in Central Florida and has an update.
When daylight arrived after the storm, Floridians received their first glimpse of historic storm surge and flood damage in Jacksonville. This was the view of downtown streets by early Monday. Parts of Miami also experienced flooding, and in Naples, more flooded neighborhoods and streets.
We got a lot of damage, a lot of cleanup.
Irma's powerful winds flipped an airplane over and damaged this senior citizens living center.
It's unbelievable.
Damage in the Florida Keys, where Irma first made U.S. landfall, was extensive. Houses were buried and bridges closed. Residents tried unsuccessfully to return to their homes.
Very anxious, and we all just want to go home and see what's going on.
But some officials urge residents to stay away and not return yet to the Keys and Marco Island.
We have no electric, we have no water on the island. We're just trying to put our water pressure up. So those two components really create a problem for a lot of our residents. So we're encouraging people, if you don't have to come back right now, don't.
And while people in southern Florida, Naples and the Keys were dealing with major destruction, and also people in Jacksonville with floodwaters and storm surge, here in central Florida, people are dealing with downed trees, and that means no electricity for millions of people. Electric companies say 2/3 of the state lost power. This woman summed up the situation this way.
No power, no internet. We're living like savages.
Volunteer crews from across the country are now working overtime to restore electricity. Many Floridians are grateful for their help. And they're also relieved because despite the flooding and the damages, they know the hurricane could have been much worse.
It was not as bad as I thought it was really going to be.
Before Irma moved in, CBN's Operation Blessing International moved out across north central Florida, providing relief for some of the tens of thousands of evacuees who traveled north seeking temporary safety in school shelters. Many left their homes and possessions behind to the mercy of the hurricane, but took comfort in the help provided by OB. Here's one thing that Irma left behind, a 20-mile-per-hour school zone sign, or at least what's left of it. Schools here can't reopen until everyone leaves the shelters. Because people are starting to leave the shelters, Operation Blessing Strike Force teams are now moving into Jacksonville and other parts of Florida. Monday, an OB Strike Force truck delivered food, water, and hygiene products to folks in Crystal River, Florida. Bill Horan was there.
The stores are closed, the electricity's off, there's no running water anywhere. These folks are desperate. They're wonderful Christian people. And here's our Operation Blessing, a 53-foot trailer.
It's important to get food because people are not able to cook, people are not able to provide for their families at this time. And so for us to be able to provide these meals for people is going to be, I think, of very vital importance.
I'm Gary Lane, CBN News, Sanford, Florida.
Monday marked the 16th anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks. The country remembered the events of that day as millions endured the destruction caused by two hurricanes. President Trump started the day with a moment of silence at the White House. Charlene Aaron has the story.
What's so proudly we held.
At Staten Island in New York, survivors, family members, and first responders gathered to remember 9/11 victims. At the Pentagon, where 184 people were killed in the terrorist attack on 9/11, an American flag was draped in a special ceremony in honor of the memory of those who were lost. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump led a moment of silence from the White House and then took part at the memorial.
Here on the west side of the Pentagon, terrorists tried to break our resolve. It's not going to happen. But where they left a mark with fire and rubble, Americans defiantly raised the Stars and Stripes, our beautiful flag that for more than 2 centuries has graced our ships, flown in our skies, and led our brave heroes to victory after victory in battle.
Across the country, Americans remembered the deadliest terrorist attack on U.S. soil, when nearly 3,000 people were killed when planes hijacked by terrorists hit the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, while passengers forced a fourth terrorist plane down in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, before it could reach its target.
When those terrorists killed some of our own, we became very determined and very resolved to take the fight overseas and to not have the homeland attacked again. Our military stepped in, and of course on that day, our first responders stepped up, sacrificed, will continue to sacrifice.
Mark Bingham.
In Shanksville, Vice President Mike Pence attended a memorial for the victims of Flight 93, vowing that America will never forget.
As long as America endures, we will tell their story, and generations of Americans will ever be inspired by the faithful and courageous words and deeds of the heroes of Flight 93.
Many agree with the Vice President's sentiments.
I think it's very special for us, especially, we're from Indiana, and we wanted, like I said, we wanted to pay our respects, my wife and I, and, and for especially everyone that was part of that flight, of what they did.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Events like that and storms like Hurricane Irma sometimes challenge our faith in God. CBN News recently spoke to author and pastor Max Lucado about how to find peace in the midst of the storm.
The psalmist said, I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. This was an intentional decision on the part of the psalmist. He said, I will lift up my eyes. We have to choose to lift up our eyes and stare less at the storm and stare more at the Maker.
And to see that full interview with Max Lucado, go to our website. It's cbnnews.com. The United Nations approved new sanctions against North Korea Monday. The Security Council passed the resolution unanimously. The new sanctions ban textile exports, a big source of income for the nation. They also limit oil imports to North Korea. The UN is acting in response to the rogue regime's nuclear tests last week. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, said there is still time for North Korea to change course.
We are not looking for war. The North Korean regime has not yet passed the point of no return.
The Trump administration says these are the toughest sanctions ever imposed on the country. Still, they fall short of what the U.S. originally sought. In southern Mexico, thousands of people are without homes 1 week after an 8.1 magnitude earthquake rocked the area. At least 96 people died in the quake. That number, though, is still rising. Thousands of homes and hundreds of schools are damaged or destroyed in Chiapas and Oaxaca. Now, hundreds of thousands of people reportedly can't get clean drinking water. Despite the suffering, about 200 people came to an open-air mass Sunday. The St. Vincent Ferrer Church suffered heavy damage, losing one of its bell towers. Many churches have been heavily damaged or left vacant until they can be evaluated. Doctors say ex-Muslim turned Christian evangelist Nabil Qureshi is losing his battle with cancer, and he's asking for your prayers.
The doctors have pretty much given up on treating me. They think my body is in its final stages of life, and so they have suggested palliative care. I could really use your prayers. If we want the Lord to come through and do a miracle, it needs to happen in the next few days.
Nabil Qureshi has been suffering from an aggressive form of stomach cancer for more than a year. Despite the grim news, he continues to share the gospel on social media, and he encourages others to not lose their faith in God's ability to heal him. Still ahead, here on CBN NewsWatch, protecting children. See how this ministry is working to end child sacrifice in Uganda. Every year, hundreds of Ugandan children are kidnapped and murdered. It's all part of a thriving human sacrifice business. But now, a Christian pastor is teaming up with police and politicians to stop this brutal practice. We want to warn you, parts of this story are disturbing. George Thomas has this exclusive report from Uganda's capital of Kampala.
It's a little after 2 in the morning, about an hour's drive south of Kampala. CBN News has joined undercover detectives, armed police, and a pastor hunting for a witch doctor accused of kidnapping and killing children.
Witch doctors believe that when you kidnap a child, you get wealth, you get protection.
Pastor Peter Siwarkiyanga leads the search. He runs Champesi Child Care Ministries, a Christian effort to stamp out child sacrifice in Uganda. He describes the witch doctor's brutal ritual.
When they get the child, most times they cut the neck, they take the blood out, they cut the genitals or any body organs that the spirits want. In a sense, it involves the child dying.
A few hours in, the trail for the killer goes cold. Pastor Peter says these gruesome crimes happen almost each month.
And there are very few actually that survive. Most of them die.
I had high hopes and dreams for Clive.
Rachel Kasingo's 3-year-old son Clive disappeared June 2, 2015, while playing in the backyard of their home.
It was around 10 in the morning when we noticed he was nowhere to be found.
CBN News met Kasingo the day police told her what happened to her son.
I've never even heard of child sacrifice. I didn't even know what the phrase meant.
Detective Emmanuel Mafunda took us to the spot, not too far from his home, where they found Clive's remains in this pit toilet filled with human feces. Mafunda said the key suspect turned out to be Kasingo's neighbor, a wealthy businessman who allegedly hired 2 men to kidnap and mutilate Clive's body, believing the act would bring good luck to his new hotel project. Detective Mafundo said the suspect paid the equivalent of $1,400 for Clive's life.
I found it so queer how someone, because of superstition, can be able to sacrifice a 3-year-old kid.
Child sacrifice today in Uganda is such a serious and widespread problem that the government has even set up an anti-child sacrifice and human trafficking task force. Chief Investigator Moses Binoga says that in addition to decapitation, witch doctors often slice the child's tongue and mix it with herbs for special powers.
The tongue is used to silence enemies.
Mike Chibita is Uganda's top law enforcement official, the equivalent of America's Attorney General. He says superstition and the desire to get rich quick contribute to high child sacrifice rates in his country.
The connection is these witch doctors come and tell people who want to get rich that in order to get rich, you need to sacrifice human blood.
Best friends Kanani Nankunda, George Mukisa, and Alan Simbatia are fortunate to be alive, but bear the physical and emotional scars of their past. The 3 are child sacrifice survivors. A few years back, Kanani and his 7-year-old sister were attacked in the bush. He has a 10-inch scar on the back of his neck where the witch doctor tried to drain his blood.
I fainted, and when I regained consciousness, I found my sister dead with her head missing.
2 men attacked Alan Simbatia on his way home from school.
I tried to scream for my parents, but my voice was not strong enough for them to hear me.
They stabbed his neck, sliced his head with a machete, then castrated him. Alan remained in a coma for 2 months after his miraculous rescue. George Mukisa's mother found him lying in a pool of blood after a man castrated his privates with a blunt knife. Doctors had to reconstruct his genitals with skin grafted from his forearm. The boys say they encourage each other to look past their physical challenges.
God is helping us in many different ways. When we think about what happened to us, we just pray and ask God that this would never happen to anybody else.
The 3 boys are now under Pastor Peter's care. Champisi Child Care Ministries is the only organization in the country providing long-term financial and medical care for survivors of child sacrifice.
We want to see that the life of a child who has survived is supported, that they are socially able to stand and heal from the injuries, and that they can have a life after that.
Rachel Kasingo says life without Clive will never be the same. Still, she has a message for the men who who brutally murdered her 3-year-old son.
Because of my faith in Jesus, I believe in second chances, and I would give it to them because there's nothing I can do to bring Clive back. My message to them is confess your sins and come to the Lord, because when you come to the Lord, He will forgive your sins.
George Thomas, CBN News, Kampala, Uganda.
New revelations about diet sodas. Not only do they cause you to gain weight, just drinking one a day triples your risk of dementia and stroke. If you drink or eat anything with artificial sweeteners, you need to listen to our next report. We've warned about the dangers of these fake sugars for years, and now Lori Johnson explains they not only can hurt your brain and heart, they might even cause you to gain even more weight.
This country's weight problem is only getting worse. The CDC reports a staggering 71% of adults qualifies as overweight or obese. The result? Things like heart disease, cancer, diabetes. In June, the New England Journal of Medicine reported the whole world is getting fatter and paying a price. 4 million deaths. 60% caused by obesity, but the other 40% by just being overweight. Health experts say the root cause of our weight problem can be summed up in one word: sugar. Most Americans consume about 160 pounds of it a year. Oftentimes, it's hidden in foods you'd never expect, like yogurt, peanut butter, pasta sauce, and bread. Then other times it's right out front, like in soda. This one can contains more than 9 teaspoons of sugar. It's no wonder so many people turn to diet sodas containing zero-calorie artificial sweeteners to reduce their sugar intake. But that's a bad choice for a number of reasons. A new Boston University study revealed people who drank diet soda have 3 times the risk of developing dementia and having a stroke. And that's people who just drink one a day.
So artificial sweeteners, we think, are much worse than we ever thought.
The Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Michael Roizen says artificial sweeteners like aspartame, saccharin, and sucralose can disrupt what's known as our microbiome.
Your microbiome is the bacteria inside your gut. Those artificial sweeteners cause a separate breed of bacteria to grow inside you.
Neurologist David Perlmutter says artificial sweeteners throw off the delicate balance of good and bad bacteria.
The bacteria that live within our gut nurture the brain when they're treated right. They reduce inflammation, for example. Inflammation is the key player that causes multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, and even Alzheimer's, and coronary artery disease, and diabetes for that matter as well.
Perlmutter says in addition to avoiding artificial sweeteners, consider taking probiotics to increase good bacteria and prebiotics to maintain healthy levels. We consume artificial sweeteners to control our weight, but believe it or not, a number of scientific studies show they actually cause us to gain weight. One reason goes right back to the gut.
The body thinks it's starving and holds on to every calorie that a person consumes. So here are people consuming diet drinks and gaining weight. And that doesn't seem to make any sense. And yet, we now see that it's happening because of changes in the gut bacteria. The risk of developing diabetes is dramatically increased twofold in people who drink a lot of sugarless beverages. Who knew?
Nutritionist J.J. Virgin says the artificial sweeteners stevia, xylitol, erythritol, and monk fruit appear to be better choices for the gut. However, they can still lead to weight gain.
But there's also a phenomenon that happens called calorie dysregulation that they saw with artificial sweeteners. When you eat something that's got a sweet taste with no calories, your body can't calibrate the degree of sweetness with how many calories, so it causes you to tend to overeat.
Then there's our own DNA. Genetics predispose an estimated 3/4 of us to have an addiction to sweets, meaning the more we take in artificial sweeteners, the more we crave all sweets. That's why health experts recommend removing the taste for sweets altogether.
Sweet is a learned taste. If you go off sweet, if you go off sugar, if your brain doesn't get used to it, if your taste buds don't get used to it, you can avoid it, and that's a much healthier state.
Virgin proved this theory with 700 sugar addicts.
First, we taper down for a week. We don't cook cold turkey, but then we lower their sugar impact down. We start using more spices and more savory and getting enough protein in and getting healthy fats in. And then at the end of 2 weeks, we go back and test. And these sugar addicts told me that sweet food just tasted gross.
So while eating too much sugar is definitely hazardous, artificial sweeteners can be just as bad for you, maybe worse. That's why the healthiest solution is to remove all sweets from your diet, both real and fake. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Time to shred the sugar, both real and fake. Stay with us. We'll be right back. It is time now for your Tuesday Tweetable, and I pray this thought will bless your day and inspire you to post, tag, and tweet to share with others. Consider this. As you look at the people with significant roles in your life, anyone who does not lift you up and push you forward is probably weighing you down. If that is the case, perhaps today is a good day to shed some dead weight and eliminate that excess baggage. Remember, you were made to soar. With that word, make this a terrific Tuesday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about always at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make this a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.